Before I begin, be sure to like the video and leave a comment on what you think of it. Also, be sure to subscribe to my channel and ring the bell to keep up with further audiobook readings. The Jump. We're about to witness something that has never been done before. You've read about it, you've tweeted about it, and it's finally here. I'm Alfonso Roberto, and this is Will Smith, The Jump, coming to you from the Grand Canyon. Today, on his 50th birthday, he will face his fears and heli bungee jump over this jaw-dropping gorge. Now, to be clear, he is bungee jumping out of a helicopter 1,800 feet above the ground. I just got chills thinking about this. This is crazy. Yo, Alfonso, stop saying that like that, Charlie Mack barked. Charlie, I'm on the air right now, live, Alfonso hissed. I don't give a... Alf, stop making it sound like it's gonna go bad, like it's too dangerous. But also, the weather here can be tricky at the Grand Canyon. We had lightning storms all day yesterday, but we have an experienced stunt team and aerial crew who is keeping track of the winds and the temperature. Okay, we're out, Alfonso, the producer yells. Seriously, Alf, I don't like your whole energy. Charlie, I'm doing my job. Will asked me to host, Alfonso said, chopping his right hand into his left. He wants me to build the suspense. Don't build no suspense that make it seem like you're gonna die. That's where the suspense comes from, Charlie. So, why are you heli bungee jumping over the Grand Canyon? When I first heard that question out loud, I thought, it's obvious. I'm in the wicked clutches of an anaconda of a midlife crisis. But I was live on YouTube, so I couldn't say that. Here's what I actually said. I've had an interesting relationship with fear my whole life. I've traversed the spectrum of fear reactions, from complete debilitation through inspiration and sometimes slipping into outright foolishness. But when the idea of heli bungee jumping over the Grand Canyon came up, I wasn't debilitated, and I sure wasn't inspired. All I could think was, this is stupid. My childhood Grand Canyon trip was a deeply meaningful experience. I've always remembered how beautiful it was, but I also remember how terrified I was to walk up to the edge. Harry even got close enough to drop his drum in it, but I stayed back, too scared to take in the full majesty. I've realized that for some reason, God placed the most beautiful things in life on the other side of our worst terrors. If we are not willing to stand in the face of the things that most deeply unnerve us, and then step across the invisible line into the land of dread, then we won't get to experience the best that life has to offer. So I've been making a conscious effort to attack all the things that I'm scared of. And this is scary. When Yes Theory challenged me to heli bungee, my heart jumped. And I've learned to recognize that feeling as a signal that the great gift has presented itself. As soon as my heart jumps, I'm in. I gotta do it. But I also can't be outdone, so when Yes Theory said heli bungee, I added over the Grand Canyon and on my 50th birthday. Everybody's here. Mom, Jada, Sherry, Trey, Jaden, Willow, Harry, Ellen, Pam, Ashley, Kyle, Dion, Gammy, Khalib, JL, Charlie Mack, Omar, Scody and Ty, and on and on. As I took in the dueling landscapes of friends, family, and Grand Canyon and saw the faces of the next generation, Harry's kids, Ellen's kids, Pam's, JL's, Charlie's, Omar's, Khalib's, Scody and Ty's, I realized I'm standing in the middle of my dream. This is what I've always wanted. Everyone I love is here, together, as a family, and I had brought them to the Grand Canyon to witness the senseless and horrific death of their Uncle Will. I could hear the news reports. Will Smith in what is presumed to have been a drug-induced psychosis, leapt to his death in a bizarre heli-bungee accident over the Grand Canyon early yesterday afternoon. He is survived by his wife, his baby mama, 3 children, a smorgasbord of nephews and nieces, extended family and friends, and a day hiker wondering what all the sirens were about. He was just 50. In a statement released by YouTube executives, Smith was described as a true American lunatic, end quote. But another thing happened. The kids got it. They seemed to understand the necessity to confront and overcome the things that most terrify them. My niece Kayla held on to my leg as I approached the helicopter, and beyond the point where she could no longer follow, she screamed, "I'm gonna be brave like you when I grow up, Uncle Will." Alfonso says, "Willow, how do you feel about your dad going to do this?" Willow says, "I just want him to do what makes him happy, and obviously I'm nervous, but this is what he wants, and we're all here to support him, and I just want him to do what he loves." Trey says, "I'm just really happy he's doing what he wants to do. I mean, bungee jumping out of a helicopter over the Grand Canyon? I couldn't say I've ever heard of that done in history, so I'm looking forward. He taught us to just conquer fear." Jada says, "Are you trying to terrify your children?" No. My kids don't get scared. What's Dad's biggest fear? His biggest fear is having any fears. Will, you've been in this business for a really long time, and you have a lot of fans, and you also have some very famous fans, and they all wanted to say a little something to you, so check this out." LeBron James says, "You about to bungee jump out of a helicopter into the Grand Canyon. Man, you got too far in life to be doing like that." Michael Strahan says, "Just because you turned 50 doesn't mean you have to lose your mind. If you need to talk to somebody, you can talk to me anytime." Jimmy Fallon says, "I don't want you to do this. You still have time. You can back out of this. Throw a dummy out of the plane. Do anything." Quincy Jones says, "Happy 50, bro." DJ Jazzy Jeff, "Now you gotta go to the doctor and let them stick their thumb up your because that's what happens when you're 50. I know." Alfonso, "Yes, alright." Always inspiring words from Jazzy Jeff. I didn't want to know anything ahead of time. I wanted to walk up to the chopper, get briefed, and do the jump. I wanted to find out in real time, along with the audience, how it was all going to go down. "Hey Will, I'm TJ, your stunt coordinator. Let me run you through the basics. You're going to be jumping on a 200-foot active bungee cord. We've got multiple redundant safeties. Chest, 2 to the waist. This cord is an engineering marvel made from hundreds of individual strands of rubber coated to reduce friction and wear. More strands, more safety. Your body weight is 200 pounds, right? Well, minus the 18 pounds of fluid and other matter I'm currently shedding due to the crippling terror I'm experiencing, yes. You're going to put 3 G's into the cord, which when you multiply it by your weight, means you're going to put about 600 pounds of force on it. At the point of maximum stretch, you'll have fallen 550 feet, then you'll bounce several times before ending up hanging about 325 feet below the helicopter. Then we'll bring you back to the crash pad, unhook you, everybody sings happy birthday, and we head home. Any questions?" "Wait, hold on. I just had a terrible thought," I said. "After this bungee cord stretches, isn't it going to throw me back up into the rotors of the helicopter?" "I hope not," TJ said, chuckling. "Just kidding, that's impossible. As you accelerate under the force of gravity, you gain kinetic energy. The bungee cord stretches, absorbing that energy, but only some of it. The rest is lost as heat due to friction and air resistance. This means the rebound can never be as high as the initial fall. Aight, cool. I figured it was totally safe. Well, there are fundamentals to bungee jumping, but this is heli bungee jumping, so there are subtle peculiarities that make it potentially a little more dangerous. For a start, instead of a stable position, the chopper is moving. The weather conditions have to be just right, and we can't be too close to any walls or ledges. But you are the X factor I'm most concerned about. This bungee cord weighs over 200 pounds. When we get up in the air, there will be 3 guys holding the weight to keep it off of you. But when they let it go, there's going to be about 800 pounds of pull. So you're going out of this chopper whether you like it or not. The only way you can get hurt is if when they let that cord go, you don't get away from this bird. I'm going to count down from 5, and when I get to 1, you must jump. If that cord snatches you, it's all bad. I'm not jumping, but I'm probably going to get sued. I wonder how much the judgment will be. The average movie costs probably $40 million, so there's no way YouTube is paying more than $2 or $3 million to put this event on. Plus, what, $1 million in damages? So when I walk away right now, it's probably a $4 million decision. I can live with that. But by then, TJ was attaching the bungee cord to my chest. Wait a second, it's not going to be attached to my back or my legs? Every bungee I'd ever seen was attached to people's legs. We're about the same age, TJ said. Do you remember the Nestea plunge commercial? Where the people would jump backward, arms out, into a swimming pool? Yeah, I remember that one from when I was little, I said. When I get to 1, I need you to give me your best Nestea plunge. I have to jump backward? I'm harnessed up. Double and triple checks have been completed. The whir of the chopper blades slowly increases. I move to take my seat in the helicopter. TJ stops me. Because of the weight of the bungee cord, I'm going to keep you on the outside, on the ski, TJ says. So, I'm going to be standing on the outside when it takes off, I say, catching myself, realizing I'm an international action hero. Yes, just get to your feet firmly planted on the ski. You grab these 2 handles, hold on to them, and I've got you on a tether, TJ says, as if that was supposed to make me feel better about being on the outside of a helicopter while it takes off and then flies over the Grand Canyon. My next and perhaps most startling surprise came as the chopper began to lift off. There is something wildly disconcerting about hanging onto the outside of a helicopter as it takes off. We are 8 feet off the ground as the chopper gently banks to the right. I look down to make sure my feet are firmly planted on the ski when suddenly the ground disappears and the 1,800-foot gorge reveals itself. My knees buckle under me. I tighten my grip on the steel handles bolted to the helicopter floor. Meant to tell you not to look down, TJ shouted with a smile. I thought, what else has he forgotten to tell me? There's a red light just to my left. A cacophony of military gibberish squawks over the multiple open radios. Everybody is shouting over the thunder of the chopper blades and the percussive timpani that is my heart. I can make out a word here and there. Altitude, copy, over, wind, check, storm. Storm? It would be terrible to nail the jump and then get struck by lightning. And then, green light. The red light in the chopper, which had been the Hoover Dam holding back the flood of this collective insanity, gives way and turns green. TJ, 6 inches from my face to be certain that there are no miscommunications, gives me the universal go sign. Thumbs up. And then he shouts, "We are go! Do you copy? We are go!" I give him one nod in the affirmative. and TJ begins the countdown. 5, TJ commands, aggressively showing 5 fingers. It really is true that your whole life flashes before your eyes when you think you're going to die. What if I leap to my death in front of my children? This would be a whack way to go out, and the worst birthday ever. It would be the biggest YouTube special in history, so there's that. I probably should have thought about all this before now. I wonder what my kids would say at my funeral. 4! Me and Jada just started playing golf together. She loves it. She gets dressed for a round before the sun even comes up. After all of these years, we found something new we love doing. We're supposed to be playing tomorrow. I enjoy playing with her more than anybody. She's the best friend I've ever had. 3! Why is he counting so fast? 2! Look, I'm either gonna die or I'm not. If God wants me today, ain't nothing I can do about it anyway. If I die, I'm not even gonna know. So the real question is, how do I want to live? 1!